Hello everyone, welcome back to the United Star. We have Vishesh here with us to do the player ratings after a very disappointing performance against Spurs. We deserve more from the game, and it was very sad that we really didn't turn up before Spurs scored their first goal. But let's get into it. Let's get straight into it. Vishesh with starting 11, David De Gea out of 10.
Honestly speaking, he didn't have much of this game. He had two saves to make. Let's be honest. His first save uh, led to the goal, and it's not even a save. It was a blunder, and his second was a brilliant save. I think overall, I'd give him a 4 out of 10. He had nothing to do, and we still conceded. Roy Keane has come out and said he's the most overrated goalkeeper. That's slightly pushing it, but definitely Dean Henderson should start in the stakes with
No, no, four is liberal. Four is liberal, Vishesh.
the
We
way
can't
De
give him
Gea has.
anything more than a 3.
I think a four for De Gea.
I think we can't give him anything more than a 3, but we'll go with your 4. What do you think about right back Van Bissaka?
Again, I think we started this post-COVID season horribly defensively. I Wan-Bissaka was nowhere to be seen. Son was pulling his tricks left, right, and center. I started seeing him slide after we scored a goal, and that's the 81st minute is not a time to wake up. So I'm gonna give. I think I'm gonna give a five, five at best. This wasn't a good game for the players.
No, and going forward too, Van Bissaka looked lost today more than ever.
He's not that great going forward. We know that. That's one of his weaknesses. But his defense was also shambles.
Yeah, yeah,
So
out of position, no intent, nothing. I agree with you. I think I'm gonna give 1 point lower than you for every play. I think De Gea 3, Van Bissaka 4. But anyway, let's move on. Harry Maguire, centre back, turns slower
four,
than a grandmom can.
four. The way he was turned. I I don't know what happened to us when Matic came on and we became a three at the back. There was the passes were crisper. Our defense looked well settled. Maguire was making few key passes here and there. Matic was, but when you look at it from a game's perspective, not more than a four. The defense was honestly sad. If I have to pick a player out of defense, and I'm going to rate him as well right now, it would be Shaw for the way he was covering up in the second half. I would probably rate him as our best defender for this game.
So best defender would get 5.
Six maybe, since I've given five to Wan-Bissaka. Six to Shaw,
Okay,
and
okay.
Lindelof went off, right? Uh,
Hmm.
I hope that's not an injury, even though we have Eric Bailly to cover. But yeah, I'd give him a five. He didn't do much this game, except
Right,
for the gap between Maguire and Lindelof that should have never existed for the goal that happened. It was a quiet game for him.
right.
Let's be honest, Spurs didn't attack us that much. They sat back. They
Yeah.
were scared of us. We let them control the game, and we played according to their game plan.
That's the sad part. All the goals were our mistake, weren't they?
Yeah,
It was dismal. Like it was whenever Spurs got forward, it was either Lindelof, Van Bissaka, Maguire, someone making a mistake, and that's why I say none of these defenders deserve more than a 5. But let's give Shaw a 6 if you say so. Let's move to the midfield. What do you think about Scott McTominay?
a good game. I wouldn't say that it was that bad. He seemed his
No.
normal self. Uh, could have done more going forward. Could have made the pace faster. But I'd give him a 6.5. I think that
Hmm.
that's a fair score with the way the team played.
Yeah, I think in the first half, McTominay was our best player. He was running around. He was trying to win the ball, and he was literally the only one who was breaking the play up. So 6.5, I think is fair. Maybe a 7 also might be fair for him, but 6.5 seems fair. Let's go to Fred. Fred, what do you think about Fred?
I found Fred to be shaky today. The way he was passing the ball around, not the Fred I've seen this season. I'm going for a five.
5, yeah. It was. I think Fred was a real letdown. It seemed like he saw Mourinho on the touchline and confused him for the United manager. It seemed like
Yeah,
those days.
yeah.
It seemed like those days for Fred. I think the most disappointing player I'm going to get to is Bruno Fernandes. I was expecting him to do a lot of things today, but missed passes, bad decision making, that last minute shot that he took. What do you have to say? How do you rate him?
I think what's happened here, Prasham, is we've seen Bruno come into the club and perform beautifully. He's taken it up a notch, and this game wasn't at that level. Uh, I've read it a lot that Bruno, he's made wrong passes. We also are counting how many mistakes he was making during the game. But he is a key figure. He's had an off game. So I'd give him a five as well. Even though that penalty was beautiful, He got greedy towards the end. Igalo was free, should have passed it to him. A lot of shots taken from outside the box, but that's the player he is. We can't expect anything else. And he came out and did an interview with Sky as well right now, saying that we're not happy, but it was a good game. I don't think it's a good game. That's just a face for the media. I can see him punching doors and kicking doors the way we've seen that Sporting Lisbon video. The squad is going to be very pissed, and I'll talk about Ole in the end. But yeah, the squad is going to be very pissed. So a five for
Right. Yeah, I think maybe I'd go towards the six because he did get that goal eventually. But in the first half and up till he got the goal, I think Bruno Fernandes, this is the worst I've seen him in a United shirt, and I don't think anyone can argue with that. And then after he got that goal as well, he continued his poor decision making today. But decision making is a great segue into Dan James. I have never seen a man make so many mistakes on a football field back to back.
Uh, Look, with Dan James, the guy's a kid. He's come from Swansea. You can't put that much pressure on him. I'm going to give him a three for his horrible performance. But I think it's time for Dan James. I've said this to you before. Dan James is more of an impact off the bench with his speed. Let's get Dan James on the bench. Bring him on. He'll be good. The defense will be scared of that pace. The way, who's the guy who scored for bloody Spurs, man? The way the guy
Pogba.
yeah, the way the guy ran through our defense, that can be James if we utilize him smartly.
Yeah, for that you need a Maguire on the other side though. Anyway, moving on. Martial, one good shot, one poor shot, and otherwise non-existent. What do you think?
Three, non-existent. I didn't do much. Well, I mean, got one save out of Lloris. Otherwise, three. Not happy.
Yeah,
I'm not
there's
happy
not
with
much
this
to
game.
say. There's not much to say. But Martial, non-existent. But I think Marcus Rashford, a lot of hype going into this game about him, a lot of positivity. We expected a lot of things from Rashford coming back. Uh, one chance instinctively he took, Lloris saved it, and the other one he got to it and then suddenly stopped. So how do you rate Rashford? It was a mixed performance. How do you rate?
Rashford would probably get a 5.5. I don't know. I mean, these ratings are really low, and I'm feeling really bad as a United fan. But it was just not him. When he got the ball, he wasn't running at the defense. He was holding back. He got two, three shots here and there. You could see the frustration build up in the player. But I guess this is what I'm saying, Pratham. I spoke about this with Bruno as well. The way Bruno left us when COVID impacted and the way Rashford was before his injury, we cannot expect the same form from get go. So I mean, we will have to be patient with these players, and hopefully the next game against Sheffield is way better. But I think I
If
have some way better ratings when it comes to substitutes, and we
if
should.
if we if we are talking about form of the bat and comparing Bruno to the likes of De Bruyne already, I mean we saw what De Bruyne did. But anyway, let's move on to the substitutes like you said. Uh, let me introduce the substitutes. So let's start with Mason Greenwood. I think it's blatantly obvious he starts on
Mason
the right
Greenwood,
ahead of Dan James.
I give Mason Greenwood a solid 6.5. Top with McTominay, he came on for those odd 30 minutes. He put their defense. You know the thing I'm asking from Rashford running at the defense. We saw that against Greenwood. That last minute shot that Greenwood took, so close. I could imagine the game that he scored against Norwich or some other team where he was doing the exact same thing and that ball went in the goal. So
Right.
I mean, Greenwood is the talent, and please, Ole, I know you're not hearing this, but if you get a clip of this, Greenwood over Dan James.
Yeah, every single day, every single day. Let's move on. Let's move on to. I'm gonna leave one player out right now, but let's move on to Matic. What do you think about Matic?
Again, a good performance after coming on. Uh, I think he played for around 15 minutes. Again, another six. Good performance. Played as a centre back till Eric Bay came in, where we shifted to a three. Played that crucial ball that got their full midfield and went to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, which I think led to the goal. So a solid performance by Matic.
And what about Odion Igalo? He didn't have much to do, so I think a
He
straight
didn't have much to
5 for
do.
him.
I mean, I'll give him a five because he didn't do much and he wasn't involved really. So you
Yeah,
can't really blame
yeah,
him for anything or praise him.
right, right. And Eric Bailly as well, a straight 5. He didn't do
Straight
much.
five, you can't really rate him.
So then let's get to it. Let's get to what I think was our man of the match, even though he played 30 minutes. Paul Pogba.
8. Paul Pogba gets an 8 for two reasons. Uh, Actually, three reasons. What I saw as soon as he came on was a slight tackle, which showed that he wants to get back and play. Whether he wants to stay at this club or whether he doesn't, that's a different topic. But if he's going to play his heart out for 2 months, we can be a different team altogether. So the passion I saw in him, brilliant. Number two, that pass he made to Rashford, which he picked from nowhere. I
Yeah,
I don't think anyone, maybe even the Premier League, maybe even De Bruyne can't do that.
yeah,
That pass was outrageous. Number three, the penalty that he won, super
yeah.
smart.
He sent
He
Eric
knew
Dyer
that
home.
push was coming from behind. He knew that would lead to a penalty. And talking about penalties, Bruno Fernandes, there's something known as VAR. Can you please stop diving everywhere? This is
Yeah,
the
that was
second time
disgusting.
he faked a
But
foul.
but let's but let's stay on Pogba for a minute here because I also want to bring about you pointed out three brilliant instances. But as soon as Pogba came on, you could see Bruno was playing better, Rashford was running faster, Martial made a couple of runs. He didn't get the ball, but he made a couple of runs. So I think the general impact Paul Pogba had was unbelievable. And anybody who says that we should think of selling Pogba if he's willing to stay is just
No,
crazy. Like, what I've
I think
seen
it's
today
just
is
it's
changed
down.
my opinion.
Yeah, it's just down to the fact that Raiola is a bitch, and Pogba is not coming out and talking about it. But let's not get into the agent discussion. I think our man of the match is Pogba, and I would really like to give Hugo Lloris a praise in this rating.
Yeah.
The guy was the difference today.
Yeah.
And lastly, before we end this, I know we're on the
Yeah,
time.
no, Ole, Ole. Let's talk
Uh,
about Ole for a minute.
we have Prasham and I have different opinions when it comes to this manager, but I would give him a 7.
7. That's
There
a
are two
joke. Come on.
reasons for that. Uh, I think the when he brought on Pogba and Greenwood, that was the initial change that needed to be made, and it was made at the right time. When he brought Matic on, no one expected us to go at a three at the back. No one expected the Matic Lindelof change. If you were bringing Lindelof off, you were going to get Eric Bailly. You won't get Matic and play because our three at the back, if I'm not mistaken, was Scott McTominay, Matic, and Maguire.
Yeah.
That is one centre back and two CDMs. That's not so. That's obviously something that's been discussed and is a tactical move. So you have to give him praise where it's due. And
Let me give my few cents here. I was going to give Ole a 4, to be
okay,
very honest. A 4. After he made the substitutions, I agreed to give him a 5.5 or a 6. Great substitutions. It really changed the game. My
okay.
problem was in the first half, we had one tactic get the ball, lump it forward. We did not try anything else. Against the Jose Mourinho team that is giving you possession, why not try to break them down? And that is my problem with Ole. He does not have plans. He has one plan, he sticks to it. Given that he made great substitutions, I'm willing to give him a 5.5 or a 6. But it's outrageous to say he deserves a 7 in my.
Okay, maybe we can settle for a 6. Maybe I'm being biased being a Ole fan, but I don't know, bro. I don't think he had other plans. Let's just agree to the fact all players are going to be rusty. They aren't going to come out as what they were. I mean, KTB did, but we're talking about a general group of players. They aren't going to come out the same way that they ended at the point of COVID. And hopefully this is one step forward after the West Brom friendlies, after playing Spurs. We now have easy fixtures. If I don't see us capitalizing till the Leicester game, I'm going to be very disappointed, and then I will put doubts on Ole. But till then,
Okay.
I think we need to just breathe. Look at the positives of this game, which were Bruno and Pogba gelling slightly. We saw some sort of combination. We saw Greenwood build, but yeah, that's about it. That's it.
Yeah.
And we need to
Let's
work
let's
on our defense. And
let's
maybe
leave
we
it at
should
that,
conclude
Vishesh.
our
Let's
12
let's
game
leave it at that.
unbeaten.
That we need to breathe and hope that we become better from here. But in all, very disappointing game. Paul Pogba, man of the match, and hopefully we'll be better against Sheffield. And Dean Henderson won't be there for Sheffield, so that's a good thing. But that's where we leave it today. And yeah, United versus Spurs, 1-1. Not the result we wanted, not the performance we wanted, but well, what can we? Thank you, Vishesh. See you next time.
Thank you, Prashant.